Good morning. Today I'm going to read a psalm, Psalm 111, 111. Praise the Lord. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart, in the company of the upright, in the congregation. Great are the works of the Lord, studied by all who have pleasure in them. Full of honour and majesty is his work, and his righteousness endures forever. He has caused his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and merciful. He provides food for those who fear him. He is ever mindful of his covenant. He has shown his people the power of his works, to give them the heritage of the nations. The works of his hands are faithful and just. All his precepts are trustworthy. They are established for ever and ever, to be performed with faithfulness and uprightness. He sent redemption to his people. He has commanded his covenant forever. Holy and terrible is his name. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all those who practice it. His praise endures forever. Psalm 111. Now we have a different association to 111 these days, don't we? As a place to ring for help if you're in need of medical advice. But Psalm 111 has spiritual advice for us, and that is to keep our eyes fixed on God and on his wonders, on the wonderful things that he's made. And it ends with that lovely instruction or encouragement that says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. It's not the end of wisdom, it's the beginning of wisdom. The only way we will have true wisdom is to start by honouring God and putting God first. And fear it's not fear in the sense of terror, but fear as in awe, an awareness of who God is and how majestic he is the starting place for true wisdom. And it's interesting, in this little psalm of only 10 verses, twice the covenant, God's covenant, is mentioned. In verse 5 and in verse 9. Verse 5, he is ever mindful of his covenant. You know, our God, this God who made everything, who could have set things in place in a completely different way if he'd wanted to, but he has made this world a place of covenant. In this world there are covenants, there are agreements, there are legally binding documents all over the place about the establishing of all sorts of things, everything from a charitable trust to marriages, to last will and testaments, to all kinds of other business deals, are held in a covenant, a binding legal document. And God is a God of covenant. He binds himself to us with his covenant. He is ever mindful of he's always remembering that he's made a covenant with us. And Jesus said, when he inaugurated the Last Supper, and he took bread, he then took wine, and he said, "This is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for you." Now, when a covenant was sealed in the Old Testament times between people, they would cut up the animals and place them in two lines, making a walkway between them. And those who were going to enter into the covenant would walk between the parts of the animals, walking in the blood, as it were. The blood shed by those animals sealed the covenant. It was saying, let it happen to me as has happened to these animals if I break this covenant agreement which I make with you today. And Jesus said, "This is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for you and for many." God has bound himself to us by the covenant that Jesus sealed with his blood. God is committed to you. And when we come to faith in him, we commit ourselves to him, accepting that blood that was shed so that the covenant could be ratified. And verse 9 says, he sent redemption to his people. He has commanded his covenant forever. Even this psalmist, ancient years before Jesus ever came, knew supernaturally from God that redemption would come in the form of a covenant, an eternal covenant. God has bound himself to you and to me in a covenant, and he will not break that covenant. It is legally binding, it is eternally binding on him, and it's eternally binding on us. Praise the Lord. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. We have a lot to be thankful for today. God bless you. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.